Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam, and I'm outside inviting you to consider taking a walk. That's right. If you want to change your mood, take a walk. There are so many writers, philosophers, poets who advocate, and they have been advocating the power of taking a walk for as long as we've been recording history. Best ideas, best solutions, and the greatest changes come from taking a walk. That's right. I mean, I'm in the habit of walking every day, and well, let's face it, we walk all the time, right? So I walk the dog. Now, I've had several dogs, and I've always been in the habit of doing it, but I never really considered that I was doing it for myself. There were times when I was out on these walks where it was a chore. Oh, got to take the dog for a walk. And, it's maybe been in the past, let's call it 5 years, where the habit of going for a walk and the benefits, the acceptance of it not being a chore, that it being the thing that I need to do, that I want to do, has changed the mindset, and that has changed the results. So first and foremost, taking a walk is an exercise. So it does improve my cardiovascular health. And the fact that I am getting some exercise does affect my metabolism, affects my digestion, and it has to do with the release of endorphins, right? That act of doing something. It's the act of moving your body, right? That's what releases that hormone. And while it's doing that, what taking a walk does is it reduces cortisol. So cortisol, don't get me wrong, the stress hormone, we need it. All right. Now we need it for those short-term benefits. So when people, when the human body is threatened, when the human brain perceives a threat, right? It's just a reflex. So cortisol restricts blood vessels, increases heart rate, right? It stops the energy going to digestion, and it's meant for the body to react. And what we mean by react in a survival situation is get ready for explosive action. All right. So fight, flight, or freeze so that you can assess and manage and deal with that risk. However, fancy word for but, cortisol, when it is in the body due to stress, either anxiety, the stress about something pending, or depression, the stress of something that has occurred, past tense, right? Grief, chronic cortisol. Now, that's where we see an issue in the human body, and which affects the human emotional state. So chronic cortisol leads to high blood pressure, right? So then we're getting into things like heart disease, and it does not allow for the regulation of insulin. So now we're getting into type 2 diabetes, and it does also affect the mood, which challenges motivation. So then while we're dealing with the symptoms of anxiety and depression and changing our mood, lack of motivation, gaining weight, and compounding those effects, spinning our wheels, as it were, we're not making available those happy, feel-good hormones, and the cortisol starts to affect our physical well-being, which again affects our ability to regulate emotions, so our pendulum swings farther and faster the other direction. We just continue to spiral. All right. So when it is a short-term stress, and we see it in others, and part of our coping is let's go for a walk. All right. Instantly, moving the body changes our mood. It calms, it refocuses. So just start moving your body. Go for a walk. And cortisol is reduced, endorphins are released. Now, if you can walk in nature, compounding those effects, because what nature does, nature just naturally calms. It stimulates other parts of the human brain, which affects different parts of our emotional state. So walking outside in nature, in daylight, here's where we get the release of serotonin, right? So daylight, which will affect our ability to make available and accessible vitamin D, does boost energy, right? And then fresh air, when you're outside in nature, that oxygen level increases our availability of serotonin, which does affect digestion, all right? So the act of engaging in a 20-minute to half-hour walk in nature automatically benefiting us on a cardiovascular level, reducing stress while also reducing the risk of high blood pressure. The fact that it's affecting our metabolism and our digestion by reducing one, increasing others, that is going to change your ability to metabolize and digest, which is going to decrease your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease. It also boosts creativity, right? And it helps you with problem solving, provides focus. And the act of moving through nature allows for lateral eye movement, which engages both hemispheres of your brain, one side associated with creativity, the other side associated with logic, right? So it really just helps give you perspective and focus, prioritize, right? So go for a walk. Even if it doesn't have to be a long walk. It doesn't have to be in nature, all right? If you needed to take a walk and all that was available was an indoor space with a treadmill, that activity alone is going to provide benefits. You're going to lower your cortisol, you're going to increase endorphins, but walking outside in nature, compounding all those benefits and adding new ones because nature has its own stimulus, right? So the smells, the sounds, and the feelings, and the sights do engage different parts of the brain and affect us emotionally. Again, it's a reset and it's a refocus. So it is a distraction. And what it also allows for us is some clear thinking. All right. So the solutions present themselves when we're on that walk, not thinking about the thing, we're noticing and thinking other things. So life doesn't seem as challenging. Problems are not as great when you're among other living things, right? When you're noticing, you're breathing, calm. Take a walk. Be in nature, be active, refocus, reset, and life doesn't seem so hard. Yeah, there are stresses, all right? As animals on this planet, our chemistry is designed to perceive risk and to manage it physically, mentally, and emotionally. But our daily lives present challenges that require thought and emotion. Unfortunately, a lot of us do that while we're sitting. And that cortisol has the ability to be stored and to affect great change in every other aspect and process in our body, right? So we feel weak, we lack motivation, we lack our ability to cope, comprehend, and get overwhelmed. Go for a walk. Right? Get active, manage your cortisol, find ways to increase endorphins, serotonin, find positive ways to release dopamine, engage with others, give a hug, oxytocin, express gratitude, be proud and thankful for your ability to look after yourself, right? No one's going to do it for you, all right? But there are people who can help, right? Help bring you up, help keep you from falling further down. And I guarantee when you seek the help of a professional, they're going to recommend some changes. And it starts with how you spend your time. Right? Walking is accessible. Walking in nature might not be as accessible for some, but we live at a time where if you need help, don't let pride get in your way. Just ask for it, right? There are people who are capable and willing to help others be the best version of themselves, to be positive contributors to society. The only thing getting in our way is our pride. I guarantee, if you need help and you ask for it, I'm going to recommend start by finding ways to improve your situation. Get out of your own head. Get that head out in nature. And you'll have to move through it. So go for a walk. And while you're finding ways to do better things, I'm probably going to recommend ways to stop doing some of those things that make available stress and cortisol. So you'll need a clear head for all that thinking, right? And you'll get that by taking a walk, right? Hold yourself accountable. Be forgiving. You don't have to do it all day, every day, but it's the consistency of walking that will change. Positive change. You might not notice the pounds come off because the waistline might actually shrink, but you'll be gaining the muscle. Your joints and your core will strengthen, making those walks a little less daunting, a little less stressful. Start slow. Make it a habit. Going easy. It's supposed to be a positive, pleasurable experience. And we're not talking days and weeks. It might take months. It might take years. Start by changing your mindset. Right? It's not a chore. Not something you have to do. It's something you should be looking forward to doing. Something you want to do. Right? That shift in mindset in and of itself is enough to change chemistry, is enough to change your hormones. So many things you can do to improve your situation, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Believe it or not, those changes will affect your financial situation as well. It's all in your mindset. So manage your cortisol, increase your feel-good hormones, be active, be positive. You're worth it. You need yourself. You need others. Others need you. So carve out 20 minutes. It's a game changer. Life's too short, and the world is a beautiful place if you make time and space for it. So please, go for a walk. You won't regret it. All right. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you. Please find a way to go outside. Take a walk. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.